I had a vision for the destinies of all these characters. I wanted Rarity to get her shop in Canterlot. I wanted Rainbow Dash to become a Wonderbolt. I wanted Twilight Sparkle to eventually become Celestia's successor. I wanted the Cutie Mark Crusaders all to get their cutie marks.
And with that, it's finally been completed. The Lauren Faust checklist has finally been fulfilled. And with that, I say... What the fuck is that? Okay, for starters, I just want to say that Newbie Dash is not a bad episode. It's nice to note that the staff finally got Lauren's checklist out of the way and that people can stop bothering them about it, but there were some things in the episode that really didn't rub me the right way. Let's go through it to find out what they were. Rainbow Dash is told by Spitfire that she will be flying with the Wonderbolts in their tour, which would make her an official Wonderbolt. But when Dash ends up making a fool of herself, she ends up being made fun of by the Wonderbolts, where they laugh at her expense and call her that dumbass nickname, and oh, the people that were most likely pissed off by this. She does get some helpful advice by Twilight, but of course she ends up taking it the wrong way, which leaves her with only one option, to possibly get electrocuted by a storm cloud from behind. Wait, why doesn't she just do a sonic rain boom? Anyway, some people have already deemed this episode to be cringeworthy, and yeah, it's pretty easy to see where they're coming from. The insensitivity of the Wonderbolts is where I really feel like I'm being dragged out of the experience. They've been dicks a lot of times, like a real lot of times, and this is some of their worst behavior yet. Now, yes, they do acknowledge how awesome Rainbow Dash is at the end of the episode, but if they really did respect her that much, then their behavior in this episode would probably confuse you more. I mean, they say that the nicknames are common because they've all made mistakes, and their mistakes are related to the nickname that they got, but if it's really this commonplace for them, then why are they being so hard on her about it? I mean, this is something that they could have easily talked to her about beforehand before she ended up embarrassing herself further, or was waiting for her to embarrass herself even more before they taught her that lesson part of the plan? Because if it was part of the plan, that's a really dumbass thing to do. I also know that a lot of people are going to comment on how Rainbow Dash was impersonating the rest of the main six, and personally, I didn't really get into it for this scenario. I understand that the purpose was to show that Rainbow Dash was taking Twilight's advice the wrong way, but the episode seems to spend too much time on it. Like they couldn't think up of anything else to fill out this portion of the episode's runtime, so they drag out her acting like her friends for as long as they can. This joke can work if it's being used in a more fitting scenario, but trying to stand out amongst the Wonderbolts by acting like the others isn't really funny. And I think the episode would have benefited a lot from shortening these reenactments to focus more on the development of the story and the characters. But despite a lot of the cringiness of the episode, there's still some good elements within it. I like seeing Rainbow Dash as a filly as well as how she got her nickname because it does paint an image of what life must have been like over there before she made friends with Fluttershy and Gilda. The first several scenes with Spitfire are pleasant because it gives the audience to just chill and relax as they watch Rainbow Dash hanging out with her idol. Seeing them geek out about Wonderbolt stuff and seeing relics of their accomplishments and just doing some fun stuff together. And because of their contrast in previous episodes, it leads me to believe that they could actually be really good friends. You know, if you're willing to forget about the time that they tried to stab each other in the back. Dash's inexperience with the Wonderbolts also makes a lot of sense. She's always been best as a solo standalone flyer, and she's even admitted this herself. She knows how to work on her own, but she doesn't have a lot of experience working with a team. And even if she has been a reserve Wonderbolt for some time, it's easy to assume that she hasn't flown with them for very long. She has to get used to working in a team, flying with set coordinates, trying to cooperate with the other Pegasi. And now that she's growing accustomed to her new team, she can gain more experience to become a more talented flyer. And Twilight's advice can help her out by thinking about what she can do to stand out in a small crowd. Individuality does play an important role in teamwork, and finding out what you can do to be unique amongst your peers can actually be a lot of fun. You know, if you don't take the advice the wrong way. And the moral that they were going for is something that I can really get behind. Even after Rainbow Dash's second screw-up, the Wonderbolts revealed that they still respect her and see her as an equal, along with talking about how they made mistakes themselves and how that got them their nicknames. At first it seems like a basic moral about how it's okay to make mistakes, but there's actually more to it. Rainbow Dash was afraid of having a bad reputation with the Wonderbolts this whole time, but even after all of her mistakes, they still accept her. What they were teaching Rainbow Dash was a very important lesson for her to learn with her characteristics. Just because you make a mistake sometimes doesn't mean that your reputation will be ruined. You can mess up every once in a while and people will still acknowledge you for all the great stuff that you've done. As long as you don't do something that's extremely morally wrong or highly incriminating, you can always make a comeback from a misstep. Now with Lauren Faust's checklist finally out of the way, what's next for the show? We're just gonna have to wait and see. As for Newbie Dash, I'd say this episode is more of a give or take. There are nice things in it, but there's still a lot of cringiness surrounding the episode, and it can be really distracting. Would I see it again? Yes. But there are other episodes in Season 6, and even more to come, that will most likely have a lot less cringiness that would get a rewatch from me first. That, and not leaving me asking why Rainbow Dash would want to be in the Wonderbolts if they've been acting like a bunch of jerks. But until then, I'm off to play more of the Overwatch beta before it closes. MisAnthro Pony, over and out.
Duh! Because I'm a Wonderbolt!
Screaming out your name, everyone in the crowd. You know that you made it. Like a king on a throne, baby, you wear the crown. That's where you know that you made it. You know that you made it. You know that you made it.